Hey all day, Bryant. I know we've been quiet for a while. Amy and the girls were visiting family in New Jersey, so I didn't have a camera crew, but they're back and we've been busy, so I wanted to update you on what's been going on. Thank you very much for the support. We met the $500 challenge, which turned into $1,000. So I'm in the process of getting ready to order some parts. So I wanted to show you what we were up to. All of these original aluminum panels that were in the cab, all of our gauges and switch configurations are going to be different. So what I've gone ahead and done is remade those in stainless steel. All of those have been replaced. So that's a better foundation to work on than the factory aluminum. And then I'll show you what we're doing right now today to get ready to order some parts. We're going to do the original Kenworth HVAC, the heat and the air conditioning system on this truck would be, to rebuild back to factory, would be right around $3,500. And it's incredibly complicated. So what we've decided to do is go with a company called Vintage Air that makes retrofit kits for older cars that never had AC or even heat and defrost. So what we're going to do is we've made this cardboard template for the smallest unit that they make that has heat, AC, and defrost. So what we're kind of doing is just making sure before we order that piece, that big evaporator core, is going to fit, which, as you can see, it will. So it's the Gen 2 Mini from Vintage Air that we're going to get. And luckily enough, we found a speed shop, one of their distributors in Ohio of all places, that has an overstock of those units. So we're going to get a real good deal on that. And the heater controls and everything and some of the ductwork he's going to include for free, which is going to save us about $500 off the total cost from what we had budgeted, which is absolutely awesome. So the plan is to get the dash buttoned up, but we need to do this unit first. And once that's done, we're going to move on to wiring, which is the second good news that I have. We've found a good 20-circuit universal GM wiring harness that we were going to use for about $350 cheaper than what we had budgeted for. So we're going to go ahead and order that out of that $1,000 too, so we can keep rolling. The wiring is going to be incredibly time consuming, so we'll be able to show you some of that too. Most of it be real boring, long days, but you'll get to see some of that get completed too, so that we can start buttoning up and getting ready for paint. So with that being said, we've got a few other things to show you. As you can see, the motor is dropped in place. Motor and transmission are in place. Beau Condon came over and was an immense help. I can't tell you how much help he was actually in getting some of the figuring done and spacing and like that. He's already made plates to support the transmission mounts in the rear, which I just have to fit and figure and mark so we can take those and get those drilled out, because I don't have drill enough to drill holes in half-inch plate. So that's where it's going to sit at that level. And he was also kind enough to build this, which did a fantastic job on that. Thank you very much, Beau. A drop mount to accommodate the front of the engine. So this is going to go in, going to get all cleaned up and get welded in. And he was also good enough to pre-drill for the mount, so it'll be relatively quick. I'll give Al a call. You've seen Al do a bunch of the welding already, and have him come over and burn those in. Thanks, Al. Preemptively. And we'll get that set. Once that's set, we'll finish. All of the work is done on the firewall. It's all painted. The underside of the cab is all painted. It looks fantastic. I wish we could show you, but we really can't because it doesn't show well in the dark of the garage. But and then we'll go ahead and start plumbing this up. Once that HVAC box is in place, we'll be able to run our coolant lines and our heater core lines and get this thing ready to fire. This is permanent. Once we get this in and it's bolted down, that's it. It's not coming back out. So that will be great. Keith, the guy that we bought the engine from, found us another fan, which he's been so kind as to ship to us. So we should have that this week too. and then we can start building the core support to accommodate the radiator, the brand new radiator that you folks have supplied the funds for, the intercooler, and a new AC condenser, and we'll get going. So that's where we're at, folks. We'd spend a lot of this time-consuming stuff we just didn't show you because it would be hours and hours and hours of you being incredibly bored. So we didn't do all that. We will show you this mount going in. We'll show you some still photos of the work on the rear of the transmission mounts. But other than that, it's all progress. We're literally just a few days and a few $100s away from paint, and that's going to be the next step, is to start accumulating donations to put to paint. So we will go from there. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support. We're working at it, and we will see you again in a few days. Thanks so much.